Let's be honest here, falling is not safe, it's fucking terrifying. Hell no. I grew up in a family of non-fallers. My parents had nice, safe lives. They worked, they came home, they worked some more. They chose to live a simple binary existence. Work, home, safe. Now it's possible that that choice confined them, frustrated them, and came out as cruelty. As long dinners, we made hurl insults at each other, casually at first, and then gaining steam until the words became daggers slicing through the air, filled by my mother's cigarette smoke. And eventually, exhausted, maybe they'd retreat to their corners, my dad scurrying to the basement to play on his Commodore 64, my mother to a recliner to smoke and read Robert B. Parker mysteries. Safe. This is adulthood. Great. Works for me. And I followed their example, guys. For years, I followed it. I studied. I didn't date. I studied more. I laid low. And then at 22, I fell in love. Uh-oh. It was my second day of graduate school, and I'd gone to pick up some books. I ran into Anjali, this stunning MFA directing student who looked like a cross between Pocahontas and Princess Yasmin. She was holding a book of poetry by Thoreau, who I'd vaguely heard of, and I mentioned something about wanting to go live in the woods. It was moronic, but she smiled. And that's all it took. I knew I would do anything, absolutely anything, to keep that smile on her face. My brain went haywire. It started waving bright red flags. No, not safe! Abort! Abort! But looking into her Disney princess eyes, I didn't have a choice. I fell right into them. And in that fall, life got immeasurably brighter. It was like being shot out of a fucking cannon into the stratosphere. Colors got more vivid, food tasted better. I felt taller because she bought me boots, and also inside. Life was sweet. And then 2 years later, we sat across from each other at 7:30 in the morning. I looked into her eyes, and I saw the light that had been reserved just for me go out. Her smile dimmed. I'd exhausted my ability to bring it back, and we'd just run out of words. No one had done anything wrong, which made it even harder. And I took a headlong tumble into darkness, self-loathing because I believed that I must, in part, be responsible for that smile going out. If only I'd said something a little bit differently, or had more hair, or played it safer. And I sat on the couch for days, weeks, eating whatever was in reach because getting up was too much work, and I curled into this new certainty that I would never, ever do this again because fuck that shit. My parents were right. I spent almost a year and a half in that dark place Googling things like, can I die from a broken heart? Wondering how to kill my feelings, eating lots of cake. I'd given up hope of ever feeling whole again, and then I went to a Lyle Lovett concert with some friends. And Lyle crooned out If I Had a Boat, which is a lovely song about boats and oceans and ponies. My friend pulled his girlfriend to her feet, got down on one knee and proposed. My brain went haywire. No, not safe, don't do it! Don't do it! But she said yes, and they both gave off this incredibly brilliant light. And it was more than their smiles or the twinkle of the diamond. It came from inside them. And as their radiance enveloped me, it penetrated the blanket of gloom that I wrapped around myself, and I felt warm, kind of tingly, and this huge gratitude filled me up, gratitude towards them, these people who dared to love, who dared to be unsafe, who let me be a part of it, a witness to their joy. And that light helped me see a flicker of my own, because it hadn't gone out, it was just a little bit dim, and the more I looked at it, the brighter it got. I wasn't broken, I never had been, I was okay. And I wasn't alone. I started living again, and eating less cake. A few years ago, I fell off a raft into a rapid in the Grand Canyon. Stay with me here. I'd been flirting with a Swedish girl, and I got distracted, and the waves crashed over me. They drove my head underwater. My mouth filled up. I'm fighting to keep my head up. I'm gasping for breath. I'm trying to swim just to keep breathing, to stay alive. This river could destroy me, smash me into the rocks with a flick of its white caps. And the guide is yelling at me, relax, relax, stop fighting, it's okay. Which is super easy for him to say, because he's on the fucking raft, but he was right. I fell back, resting my head against the life jacket, and as the water carried me, I could see the sky. And high above, miles away, a hawk, wings spread wide, flew across this infinite blue expanse. I soared as the current carried me to safety. I became part of the river, became one with the hawk. It might have been oxygen deprivation, but in that moment, I knew that I belonged to something much greater than myself. I could do anything, except get that Swedish girl to like me, but I didn't care. I cared a little bit. In the scheme of things, this did not matter. Because once I climbed back onto that raft, I got it. Don't fight. Relax into the fall. It'll pass, you'll be fine. Safety's an illusion. And you can embrace that illusion. You can turn away from a smile. You can cruise through rapids on a sturdy raft. But maybe you'll feel like a prisoner, confined by your own decisions, and you'll get angry or depressed. You'll seek solace in a cigarette or an entire fucking chocolate cake or in the comforting binary hum of a machine. We're not built for safety. We're not built to rise and maintain. That's called floating. We're built to fall, to look into the eyes of our lover, to acknowledge the terror of the unknown, and to plunge forward anyway. And it doesn't matter how we fall, whether we fall in love or into the Colorado River, because in falling, that's how we learn. Right? That's how we grow. In the absolute vulnerability at the bottom, we remember who we are. And we can't just do it once. No, we have to fall again and again and again. And each time our light grows brighter. And the wings we build with it takes us higher until we are soaring above the hawks. And we look down and we can see people maybe taking their first leaps into the rapids. We can share our light with them. We can let them know that the fall will pass, and we can give them hope. We can invite them to a Lyle Lovett concert. We can do this and trust that someone will do the same for us when it's our turn to fall again. Because let's be honest here, falling is fucking terrifying. But we never do it alone. We can love more deeply than we ever imagined. We can brave the rapids, we can go to the moon, we can build fucking empires, we can change the world, but first we need to fall. Thanks.